I'm gay. My most pervasive identities are being gay, and then also falling within the trans spectrum. I identify as demigirl, which means that my gender expression may be perceived as male, which you would assume just by looking at me. But my gender identity within my, like, how I think, how I feel, how I act is very feminine and more female-based. So demigirl means you are not solely one, but you're like both at the same time. But it's like kind of like fluid play, but there's like bits that are female, bits that are male. I tend to rely heavily on my like gay charisma in all new settings, because if I'm not the stereotypical gay character on this campus, I quickly am shoved into a very unsafe space, very unwelcoming space, meaning like not like, wow, this room space, it's like the environment surrounding you, overall emotions, feelings, even your presence. Like, yes, technically this is a chair space. Anyway.
Very heteronormative.
That's true. Heteronormativity, folks, is the it's just literally just society. It's where straight is the norm, heterosexual. Straight, I call them breeders. It's the norm, so anybody that is not in that straight norm is instantly out of heteronormative culture. Being gay and also demigirl obviously places me outside of that heteronormative SLU culture. So I guess my presence and my activism within campus, or I don't really call it activism, I call it slacktivism, but like whatever. The activism that I do is very political statement-y. Okay, whatever, okay. Well, I would say that my identity has definitely changed. When I first came to SLU, I was very like superficial gay, like my name was Beyonce on Facebook, like that bullshit. I definitely identified as cis, and then during sophomore year I took a few classes that made me like think. I was taking like my public health classes too and women's studies classes, and I started like realizing that I didn't fit with the maleness of the world, and I like definitely didn't think of myself as male. And that slowly transitioned. I think as I've kind of like gotten older on this campus, my like gayness has kind of subsided. Not aesthetically. Aesthetically, it's kind of gotten gayer, but like so this one time, say freshman year, I was with my, like, at the time boyfriend, and when we first started dating, we, like, constantly were holding hands, we constantly were, like, showing each other affection. It was, like, me because I was comfortable, and then him, I think, trying to... We don't need to go there. We don't need to go there at all. It's not my story to tell. Anyway, so when we first started dating, we, like, constantly would, like, be touching, like, each other, like, in public. Like, we would like kiss each other goodbye, we would hold hands, we would walk very close together. And one time somebody went up to us and called us faggots, and I was like totally just like, ah ha ha, you're funny. But my boyfriend at the time was very, very like taken aback. He like stopped touching me in all public realms. No matter where we were, he stopped touching me, even if it was like outside of SLU and we were like at his home, like hometown, and like we were like with his friends, he still wouldn't touch me because of that altercation. It was interesting how, like, because of that word, like we quickly assimilated to just like not even touching, and like the farthest we would be was like me and the camera right now. Like if we were close, or the closest we would be is the camera and I. If we were closer, it was because I accidentally like bumped into him when we were like walking side by side in a hallway or something. I mean, I don't say this word, but anyway. So somebody was like saying, "Oh wow, that girl's a dyke," and I like instantly got turned off, and I was like, "Why are you allowed to say that word? You're a gay man." Like, That word will never affect you. That word is not a target towards you. You don't see like lesbians going around saying like, you faggot. Like you don't, I don't know. So I kind of think of like faggot as like an in-group language. So like I feel like only gay men or those who have been called faggot. I don't know if anybody else like outside of the gay man realm has been called that. Like I don't know personally of any, but I know that it's a thing. So I'm not like, I'm so ignorant. But I definitely think that if you've not been called it, or you aren't a target group for it, you shouldn't use it. That's, again, I said in-group, out-group. In-group meaning, in this case, the in-group would be those who are homosexually identified or whatever. They would be the target group, and the out-group would be the agents using faggot to push the target group inwards more. Yeah. I find the gay community on this campus, I shouldn't say gay, I should say queer community. I don't know, I could be wrong, but like, I see a lot of us focusing on like bullshit things like gay marriage. And I know everybody deserves to be married, but if everybody deserves to be married, why is it a patriarchal institution which displaces one person for the benefit of the other? We don't need to get into it. Anyway, I don't know, it doesn't mean anything when it's like marriage sucks and is dumb, and why do I need to tie myself down to somebody to get health benefits? I think we should be talking about the health benefits. We should be talking about the gay homeless youth. We should be talking about trans suicide rates. We should talk about trans bullying. We should talk about safe sex education, same-sex education. Oh, literally anything but marriage equality, because marriage is fucking dumb. So I knew about RuPaul in the 90s because he was in a movie. Well, she was in a movie called Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, and that is with literally amazing cast. John Leguizamo. So RuPaul was in it. They're like at this fabulous thing, and I was like, wow, who doesn't know who RuPaul is? I thought everybody knew who RuPaul was because my mom knew who RuPaul was, and my mom is definitely very conservative. So all these years pass, and then RuPaul gets a TV show, and it's called RuPaul's Drag Race. And RuPaul's Drag Race is literally my life, literally the love of my life. I have 2 drag queen shirts because of it. Adore Delano, season 6 came in second, and then current contestant Pearl, who Pearl's real name is Matthew James. Matthew James is one of the hottest people on the planet. So this show is literally all these different queens. There are 14 each season, sometimes 13, sometimes 14, sometimes 12. You know, it's whatever. It's like a combination of America's Next Top Model meets Project Runway meets like fucking just beautiful drag queens. And so all these drag queens are like competing to get a crown, $100,000, lifetime supply of makeup or something. Is it lifetime?
Yeah, it's lifetime.
I get a shit ton of makeup too. Anyway, that's a lot of makeup for drag queens. But so all other like contests, there's so many great like competitions within the competition. There are so many beautiful stories about like coming out to their parents, coming out to their families, or to their rest of their family, their friends, being a drag queen and being in a relationship, which is going to be my papers. I just think the show has so much to offer, and I'm really happy that it's starting to get famous. Yeah, I really don't feel safe. And I don't feel like Safe Zone does enough.
No.
And like I'm like on the committee to like make Safe Zone better, and I know Safe Zone doesn't do enough. We're trying to make it do enough, but we can't make one program do enough that a center would do, or like a staff member or two that would be. What do queer students on this campus feel in regards to like their safety on this campus? Like, do they feel safe? Do they think that there are spaces where they're allowed to like express their queer identity? Because not every queer person goes to the Rainbow Alliance, so like obviously there's something that, like, me as a Rainbow e-board, like there's something that I'm doing wrong to not get every queer person to feel comfortable going to that space. Like where the space would be provided, like if the Queer Center would fix it or not. They resemble patriarchy. And this represents everybody who's oppressed under patriarchy. And these lines are the fallen brethren of the gays. This is about gays.
Okay.
This is I'm feeling gays. I am feeling like this one right here is going to be Rosie O'Donnell in a few years.
Oh my god.